they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
There we go. Rats on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Happy Wednesday. Happy game day. West Ham play Newcastle United at the London Stadium. 8 o'clock kickoff. I'll be there doing a lunchtime, a late lunch, match day late lunch outside the stadium in a few hours' time. But bringing you a little daily, a little bit of news. Obviously, news broke yesterday of potential managers to replace David Moyes whenever he shall be relieved of his duty, whether it, in the summer, end of his contract, whatever. There was several conflicting reports over the day. Daily Telegraph journalist Matt Law, he took to the newspaper to claim that West Ham could be interested in approaching Brighton and Chelsea manager Graham Potter in the summer, claiming that he would certainly be on a list of candidates at the London club to succeed David Moyes if he does depart. Although a conflicting report by Clarence Hugh and also mentioned by ex-WHU employee suggests otherwise, quoting that the club don't rate Potter as much, and saying that he was flattered by Brighton supercomputer, basically, and the analysis software that's run by the owner in terms of the signings made. And it was a system which buys all the players. So there was a little bit of reluctance about Potter's stock. Although Brendan Rodgers is conceived as a decent manager. So neither they seem to think are better than David Moyes at the moment. So we'll see what that. But more interesting for me was another report from my favourite media outlet, Calcio Mercato Web, which claimed that West Ham could move for former Man City and current Italian international manager Roberto Mancini, as the head coach has mentioned in a couple of interviews he'd be open to a return to the Premier League. Very interesting one about Roberto Mancini, considering when we look back to the signing of Gianluca Scamacca, which when he sort of turned to Roberto for information, for advice, he advised him to go to the London Stadium for his next move. I mean, the Italian international is as we know, he's a very dapper dresser. Very similar in hand. So could it be an Italian job? Could he just blow the bloody doors off the London Stadium with his appointments? Who knows? Be an interesting one. He's in terms of a bit more about Mancini, in terms of what he's been up to. Obviously, he's the current Italian manager. He's 58 years old. I think, for me, he'd be an interesting one. I mean, there's certain. I was talking to Kendall about it. I had a chat with Kendall Rowan, the Newcastle fan, yesterday, talking about sort of project managers and stopgap managers, and it's interesting. And I think maybe Mancini would descend both of them. He could be seen as not like a manager for the now, but would he be a manager for a project? I don't know, to be honest. As I said, several reports, but Calcio Mercato Web, I think, were the first ones that broke, said that they were interested in him moving, and he wants to go to a project. He said West Ham decided to make a move for Mancini, calling the club one of the most ambitious in the top flight in the process. The Azzurri coach has a temptation to move back to England and leave his mark again following his hugely successful spell at Man City, but he would require a significant salary. He would need to be offered at least £8 million a year, as well as a clear project. So, I mean, he's got a contract with Italy until 2026. So compensation and financial demands would be needed to seem to prize him away from that contract. But it'd be an interesting appointment, a very good one, I think. He had a remarkable record at Man City. He won 113 games and 119 in charge, drawing 38 and losing 40. He prefers a attacking 4-3-3 setup, which would favour someone like Gianluca potentially as well. He's secured 4 titles throughout his managerial career in England, Italy, and Turkey, so he knows what it is to be successful. And I think he'd be an interesting name to add to the hat. The hat which is basically taken on a bit of its mind of its own. It's quite a large hat in terms of how the bookies are looking at it. And ironically, Mancini's not even in the bookies targets at the moment, but I'm sure he will be. Bookies' favourites still have Benitez at 2-1, despite club insiders insisting no approach has been made with him. Second favourites, Michael Carrick, Middlesbrough manager, and Graham Potter, both at 5-1s. Mourinho's still there, despite again turning. He obviously turned. He was flattered by West Ham's offer, but turned that down. Bielsa, who's currently looking at becoming the Uruguayan national coach, apparently. Brendan Rodgers, Pochettino, Will Stewart at 12s, Postologu's at 14s, Mark Noble, of course, is at 16-1, his shirt number, as well as Espirito Santos and Steven Gerrard. Carlos Corbello from West Brom is 25, so with Mark Warburton, although I spelled that wrong. We've got Enzo Marquesco at 33s with Jesse Marsh and Big Sam Allardyce. Vinny Company is also at 33-1 as well, which is quite interesting. We'll be a bit more higher up. Chris Wilder at 40 with what he got a Solskjaer. And then put your money on Fat Frank to come back to the London Stadium at 50-1. Same odds as Scott Parker and Kevin Nolan. But what do you think about Mancini? I mean, is it a pipe dream? Is it doable? I think personally, I think it's all about how the project is presented to him. I think clearly he has a desire to come back to the Premier League by all accounts, make his mark. I mean, someone like, if it's not us, I could see someone like Leicester, former Leicester player as well, Roberto Mancini, wasn't he, towards the end of his career, if I remember. So interesting to see what happens there. But it was what I reported today, and it's reported, so we are reporting it back to you. And that's it. So as I said, I'll be back later on. Keep an eye out for that. I don't know what time I'll be there, but it's a late lunch. And yeah, go back and watch our interview with Kendall from last night. Love Kendall. She's such a just really knowledgeable woman about football, knowledgeable person, regardless of if she's a woman or not, about football, Newcastle fan, and, still not getting too carried away with everything, which I like as well. There's 66% chance of being in the Champions League, and she's still not getting carried away, which I love that. And obviously then we have Newcastle, we have all the watch-alongs and all that stuff as well. Mrs. Bunn and Florence will be going to the game tonight for the first time ever, which I'm quite looking forward to. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you Irons. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye.